Howdy, folks. I've seen a lot of creationist videos on YouTube. 10 questions that every atheist must answer. 5 questions for an atheist. Things like that from people like 2Rocker4U and other morons. Those questions have pretty much all been answered highly effectively. All of those videos have like 40 or 50 responses at least. If you don't know the answers to those questions, then it's only because you haven't done your research. If you want to make a video like that, just search on YouTube 5 questions for an atheist and see if all of your questions have already been answered, because they probably have. Look at the video responses. This is going to be 7 questions for a theist, or creationist, Christian, Muslim, whatever. Everyone is welcome to respond, even atheists, answering how you think someone who is religious would respond. If you have a good answer for me, these are genuine questions that I don't know the answers to, or I don't know how someone would answer these if they were a Christian. I mean, I know some random things that they could throw out, like, you just have to have faith. That's not really an answer, but okay. You can use that as an answer if you want, but understand that you're going to be questioned on it. And if you are a theist who is watching this video, I want you to do something that you're probably not accustomed to do. And I don't mean this as an insult. Pretty much everything else I mean is an insult, but this I don't. I want you to, after every question, pause the video, and I want you to sit there all alone. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's going to rebut your answers. Just think for a minute. Think about the question. Don't just spit out the first thing that comes to your head as a response, but I want you to think about it. Like Plato would. The writings of Plato, like for example Plato's Phaedo, Plato sort of plays devil's advocate for himself with Socrates. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to play devil's advocate. When you give an answer to one of these questions, I want you to imagine yourself in my shoes, or the shoes of Thunderfoot or DPR Jones. And I want you to say, maybe I've got a good response for what I just said. Maybe there's reasons that doesn't make sense. Maybe I should think about that a little bit harder. And I want you to do that and come up with really good reasons. Or realize that you don't have answers, you know? But it's one or the other, and I want you to really freaking think about it. You don't have to post a video response if you don't want, but I want you to think about it in your own head and tell me what you think. Okay? So if you can do that, I would be much obliged, and if you come up with some better answers than you think I've usually heard, then by all means post a video response, or a text response, or send me a message, or whatever. So here they are. The 7 questions that every theist should answer. Number 1, do you have any reason for what you believe? That is to say, do you have any legitimate evidence for it? Evidence that's demonstrable. If so, did you come about that evidence while you were a theist or not? And if you're just going to say, I just have faith, well, that's not really an answer. So please avoid that sort of answer. And if you want to say I just have faith, then I would cite 1 Peter 3:15. I don't remember exactly what it says, but it's something to the tune of, be always ready to give the answer to any man that asketh of you the reason for the conviction that's in your heart. So always be ready to give your reasons for why you believe. So I'm asking you for your reasons, and you don't necessarily have to respond, but at least respond in your head. So, you know, think about it. Number 2, have you read the entire Bible? I'm not judging you if you haven't, but I'm curious, and I want you to be curious too. I want you to think about it. You haven't read the entire Bible? Well, maybe you should. Maybe you should know some of the things that are in it. That includes the New and Old Testaments and whatever other book you believe in, the Quran or whatever. Number 3, do you believe that the Bible should be taken as literal, or do you think that it should be taken metaphorically? If you do think it should be taken metaphorically, then how exactly do you determine which parts are true and which parts are just the stories? For example, if If the story of the tooth fairy were metaphorical, but you were still supposed to live your life by it, how would you determine which portions you were supposed to live your life by and which portions were supposed to be taken metaphorically? Number 4. How do you justify not following the rules set forth in the Bible? Don't tell me you do follow them, because you simply don't. There are rules like cutting off your own hand if it causes you to sin. I think that was actually a New Testament one. Stoning disobedient children. Women remaining silent in the church. Murdering all homosexuals, and so on, and so on, and so on. You know there's a lot of that sort of thing in there, and you know you don't follow any of it. Nobody's judging you, okay? But I want you to think about it. Pause the video, take a minute. Why don't you do those things? If you do, well, you're a frightening person. But if not, why not? Number 5. Do you believe that when God murdered nearly every single man, woman, child, and air-breathing creature on this earth, besides, Noah and his family, do you believe that he was morally justified? Do you believe that that was morally correct? And if so, please explain why. And of course, I'm referring to the global flood there. Number 6. Do you believe that God has ever done anything that is immoral? Other than the flood, perhaps. Do you believe that when he had that guy almost kill his own son, that was immoral? Do you believe that, for example, kicking Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden because Eve tricked Adam, and the snake tricked Eve into eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge? Do you believe that it was immoral that God took immortality from Adam and Eve simply for making one mistake? Do you believe that it was morally correct of God to expect absolute perfection from Adam and Eve in the first place? And if you don't believe that God has ever done anything immoral, do you believe that there's anything that he could do that is immoral? And if so, give an example. Could he, for example, be considered immoral if he came down to earth and just started punching babies in the face all day long? Would you say God is immoral? What if he raped your sister and then cut off her tits and then made her eat them? Or something really fucked up like that. Would he be immoral then? What would he have to do for you to say God is immoral? And this sort of ties into the reading of the Bible. I want you to answer number 6 honestly, and then go read the Bible if you haven't already. Read the whole Bible, because the things that you think that God could do that would make him immoral, he's probably already done, or at least ordered somebody to do. Number 7. Since Christianity is not even close to the largest religion on the planet, nor is it the oldest, nor does it make as many claim to be true prophecies, nor is it free from apparent contradictions, nor does there appear to be any obvious, testable evidence for it, what exactly makes you think that Christianity, or whatever religion you believe in, is correct over any of the others? What makes your God better than anybody else's God? Do you have justification for that? And if so, what is it? These are all questions that I'm actually very curious to know the answers to. I know that nobody's got ultimate answers because, nobody's God. But I'd like to hear what you folks think. So, send me a message, reply in text, or best of all, make a video response. And remember what I said. Consider your answers before you talk about them, before you blurt them out. Really, really think about them. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. As always, much love to you all.